Kevin, a 44-year-old software engineer seeking solace from the humdrum of daily life, embarked on a road trip through the vast American West. His destination, the open landscapes, the unspoiled beauty of the Jordan Valley area in southeast Oregon, where the terrain sprawled like an untamed canvas under the morning sun. Driving southbound on Highway 78, the desolate highway stretched ahead, flanked by rolling hills and rugged canyons. The rhythmic hum of the engine was his only companion in this vast expanse. The sun, barely cresting the horizon, painted the landscape in hues of gold and amber. As Kevin maneuvered the twists and turns of the winding road, his senses attuned to the open spaces and the promise of unexplored horizons. A glint in the middle of the asphalt caught his eye. A metallic shimmer disrupted the natural palette of the road. Intrigued, he eased his vehicle to a stop, the dust settling around him. In the quiet of the morning, Kevin stepped out onto the pavement, the crunch of gravel underfoot echoing in the stillness. Approaching the mysterious glint, he discovered a tiny flying saucer, a mere 9 inches in diameter, resting on the road. The surrealness of the situation was not lost on him, and he cautiously extended his hand, thinking it might be a discarded toy or a peculiar piece of debris. To his surprise, the tiny saucer sprang to life. Hovering inches above the ground, it emitted a soft hum. A moment of confusion settled over Kevin as the small craft, rather than remaining dormant, unleashed miniature laser beams in his direction. The tiny beams stung, like a swarm of agitated insects, causing more annoyance than actual pain. Reacting swiftly, Kevin retreated to the safety of his vehicle, his curiosity tinged with bewilderment. He gazed back at the tiny saucer, now hovering in the road, as it attempted to give chase. Yet, within moments, it faded from view, leaving Kevin chuckling at the absurdity of being attacked by a diminutive extraterrestrial spacecraft. Resuming his journey, Kevin dismissed the bizarre encounter as a fleeting oddity in the vast tapestry of his road trip. The laughter lingered in the air as the miles rolled away beneath his wheels. However, the universe had other plans. Approximately 10 miles down the road, the glint of the tiny saucer reappeared on the horizon. But this time, it wasn't alone. A legion of miniature saucers emerged, each roughly 9 inches in diameter, resembling a swarm of metallic fireflies converging on his location. The once amusing situation escalated into a surreal spectacle as thousands of tiny saucers formed an otherworldly convoy. The serene morning transformed into a cosmic enigma as Kevin beheld the unexpected armada. A wave of unease replaced the earlier amusement, and the laughter waned. He sped up, hoping to outpace the microscopic flotilla, but it persistently closed the gap. As the tiny saucers weaved around his vehicle, he glimpsed a much larger silhouette on the horizon. A colossal flying saucer, dwarfing the multitude of minuscule vessels, hovered high above, casting an ominous shadow across the landscape. The laughter ceased, replaced by a sense of foreboding. The absurdity of the situation had evolved into a looming threat, the gravity of which Kevin could no longer ignore. The realization struck him like a bolt of lightning. This was no mere roadside spectacle. It was an invasion from the minuscule cosmos. The sky darkened as the swarm of tiny saucers blanketed the road ahead. The air hummed with an otherworldly resonance, and the landscape transformed into a surreal battleground between the colossal mothership and its legion of diminutive minions. A sense of helplessness settled over Kevin as the miniature saucers closed in, their laser beams firing sporadically, creating a dazzling display of light against the backdrop of the Oregon landscape. No longer a mere observer, Kevin was thrust into the midst of an extraterrestrial confrontation, his vehicle racing through an intergalactic battlefield. With each passing mile, the situation escalated. The tiny saucers, initially a mere annoyance, began to coordinate their attacks. Their beams, while individually harmless, now converged with a calculated precision that left Kevin dodging and weaving through the onslaught. The relentless pursuit, orchestrated by an unseen intelligence, elevated the bizarre encounter into a struggle for survival. As the tension mounted, Kevin's surroundings became increasingly distorted. The boundaries between reality and the fantastical blurred, and the once familiar highway transformed into an alien landscape where the laws of physics bent to the whims of the invaders. The road ahead seemed to stretch into an infinite abyss, the monotony broken only by the relentless pursuit of the cosmic swarm. His thoughts raced as rapidly as his vehicle. Where had these miniature saucers come from? Why were they attacking him? What did the colossal mothership intend for Earth? The questions swirled like the dust kicked up by his tires. The chase seemed endless, a cosmic cat-and-mouse game with no clear resolution. Kevin's surroundings warped and twisted, the boundaries of space and time unraveling in the wake of the extraterrestrial onslaught. The highway, once a lifeline, now felt like a corridor leading to an uncertain fate. And then, as suddenly as the chase began, it ceased. The swarm of tiny saucers dissipated into the morning air, their luminous presence fading like distant stars at daybreak. Kevin, still speeding down the highway, glanced back, half expecting the celestial armada to reappear. But the road behind him stretched empty, devoid of the cosmic invaders. Confusion and relief mingled in his mind. Had it all been a hallucination? A bizarre waking dream? The remnants of laughter returned, tinged with disbelief. Yet, as he continued down the desolate highway, a haunting certainty lingered. The encounter, whether real or imagined, had left an indelible mark on his perception of the world. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting long shadows across the Oregon landscape, Kevin's road trip continued. The laughter, once carefree and light-hearted, now bore the weight of an inexplicable encounter with the unknown. The open spaces of the American West, once a sanctuary of serenity, now held a lingering enigma, a cosmic secret etched into the fabric of the Jordan Valley.